Look at those lights. Those are not normal hot news lights, and Reece doesn't like it, but I'm here to say, hey everybody, welcome to Hot News. It's Tuesday. We took Monday. Monday was crazy. I'm so sorry. Please forgive. I just couldn't get out the daily video, but we're back. We're here now, ready to jump into Hot News. And I want to let you know that today's video is brought to you by UFD Deals, which is our very own website where we actually bring you all of the deals around the internet that actually save you money on your PC parts if you're looking to buy GPUs, RAM, motherboards, power supplies, all of that good stuff, video games. Even, you can check out UFD Deals to find the best deals that are on that website, and it saves you money. You click on the link, we get an affiliate kickback. It all works in harmonious glory. Agriculture is what I wanted to say. Didn't work, but I'm going forward. Thank you guys so much for checking out UFD Deals. Link for that will be in the video description. With that being said, let's jump on into today's first little bit of hot news. Do you want a Chromecast? Do you want a new Chromecast with Bluetooth? Well, then maybe you should check out your local Best Buy, because apparently they're selling it before it's even announced, which is amazing. The new Chromecast features Bluetooth, has not been announced. It's likely going to be announced at the October 9th event that features the launching of the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL. So stay tuned for that, but maybe just go peruse your local shelves and see if you have another Best Buy employee who doesn't know when to put things out. That was salty towards the employee, and I'm so sorry, random Best Buy employee. I wasn't casting salt on you. It's really not your fault. It's your manager's fault. Forget that guy. And this isn't necessarily tech related, but it kind of is. Anyways, Black Mirror, which is a show on Netflix, which kind of presents different various dystopian futures that we could potentially one day go into. Like, it's realism mixed with future dystopia, which is kind of cool. They are launching potentially season 5 later this year, and they will be having an interactive choose your own adventure episode, so you can terrify yourself in the way that you find most pleasing, as far as how the world's gonna end and how we're all doomed and how a prime minister is gonna do unspeakable things, because that's just how it goes. The first episode's really raw, and if you watch that, you know what you'll be into. If you watch the first episode, you'll know what you'll be in for. If you can't make it past the first episode, then probably don't watch the series. I can't necessarily recommend it. It's not for everybody, but it is a very apropos look at what could potentially happen to us. All right, Tank has critiqued me. He said that you can watch other episodes besides the first one because they're all standalone stories. And for him, the first episode was the worst, which for me it wasn't. So anyways, the first episode is a good barometer for what types of stories you can expect. If you can stomach that, you can stomach anything, I think. Speaking of videos and paid videos, YouTube adverts are getting more intrusive into who you are, because Google announced that they are going to be taking search engine data and fusing that with YouTube ad data, so that if you search for the Venom movie trailer on Google and then you go watch a YouTube video later, they'll pull that data and give you a Venom movie trailer as an ad, which I don't know why they haven't been doing this. This seems like something that Google would have done a while ago, but now it's coming, so expect more particular adverts to who you are as a person, and hopefully this comes with a pay raise for us. Another pretty cool Google announcement, they unveiled Project Stream yesterday, which is basically like video game streaming like GeForce Now or PlayStation Now. Are they all called Now? That's really weird. Project Stream's at least a divulsion from that typical naming scheme. And they announced that you can get Assassin's Creed Odyssey for free if you use the streaming service. They are going through beta tests right now. It's for 17 years and older, and if you have a US connection of 25 megabits or more, you can send an application there, and then you play Assassin's Creed Odyssey for free, but you stream it over the Google browser, which is known as Chrome. Forgot its name for a second. You have to have a Google account, Ubisoft account with Chrome, reliable internet connection, and a wired USB controller or mouse, because a laptop's trackpad is not recommended. That's optional. Okay, that makes sense. Don't be those people. Give us keyboard and mouse control. Hey, do it. Now it's time for the most ambiguous rumor that we've brought you in probably quite some time, and that's this post over on the Hard OCP forums saying the Radeon Technology Group has just received its first Zen 2 sample, and it's really impressive. 8 cores, 16 threads, so nothing different than what we already have. 4 gigahertz base, 4.5 gigahertz boost. Again, not that impressive. DDR4 3600 with a Radeon RX Vega 64. The good, it's already nibbling at the 8700K, which is going to be replaced soon. The bad, it crashes a lot, which of course it would because it's an engineering sample. The ugly, it crashes all the time. That makes sense. Zen 2 is not anywhere near ready for launch. It's not ready for consumer applications. That's supposed to happen mid of next year. There's really not a whole lot to take away from this because the clock speeds probably won't be finalized, the core count won't be finalized, and the fact that it's even, if this is even true, it crashing a lot makes sense for engineering samples. Like, you should have heard all of the stories that were coming out about Threadripper before it even launched. Like, it had tons of bugs. Some of them made it into launch, some of them didn't, but yeah, this is what engineering samples look like. It's good to know that AMD's on track and they're at least being able to fix these bugs if this rumor can be taken to be true. I don't know, do you guys think it's possible? I think there's enough here that the timing makes sense. It's also like 3 weeks old. I just found it because I just looked on the internet and saw it. So there we go. Old rumor is good rumor. Moving on. Speaking of Intel versus AMD, we've been talking about how Intel is in the midst of supply shortages. Intel officially released a statement saying, hey, we're growing really fast, and that's why. That's not why, at least on the consumer market, because new e-tailer data claims that in September they saw that AMD Ryzen CPUs claimed 2/3 of their entire sale, with Intel taking up that last little remaining third, which is just absolutely insane because it was about 50% from the same e-tailer back in August. So from August to September, they jumped another 16% in total overall sales, which indicates to me either there is a supply shortage on Intel's side, so they're not able to sell as much, or AMD is getting more popular. I think it's the former rather than the latter. I don't think Ryzen is really gaining in popularity at the moment. I think it has an established mindshare of being a decent system, CPU to base your PC around, but it's not something that everybody has to rush out and get right now. So if you want to take a look at the actual breakdown, you can check the links in the video description. Threadripper taking up 2%, Pinnacle Ridge 57%, Raven Ridge 18%, and Summit Ridge 23% of the actual CPU sales. Whereas with Intel, Coffee Lake is 89%, Kaby Lake's 9%, and Skylake X is 2%. Why would Skylake X even be in there? Coffee Lake basically covers that anyways. Neither here nor there. Moving on to the next one. The next thing is a video that I think you all should check out if you're interested in really cool things. This video by Der8auer showing him putting 2 EPYC CPUs under dry ice. It's a dual socket system, each with 32 cores, so it's 64 cores of EPYC being run under dry ice. It's a great video. You should check it out right up there if you're at all interested, which you should be. Then we have news that Intel's high-end desktop platform, moving away from AMD's EPYC stuff, is going to be changing its naming scheme altogether, calling the new high-end desktop motherboard Z399 and X599, splitting the 2 different realms of CPUs that would come out. The general idea is that the Z399 would be for the lower high-end desktop chips, a la the 7820X, 7840X and below, and then the 7900X and above would be reserved for the X599, thereby segmenting the high-end desktop market into 2 different things so that they can more effectively compete against AMD's Threadripper, because Threadripper just has the high-end desktop market in shambles right now because Intel hasn't launched anything in a while, doesn't look like they're going to have anything competitive in a while, and we should get 7nm Threadripper sometime early next year, which means that Intel is just even further behind. So how this is going to play out is curious. It looks like AMD's kind of jab at Intel by taking their motherboard names before they could is kind of working and just going to create more confusion in the market, but also hopefully increase competitiveness and differentiation. We actually get good products that make sense at their price points. Speaking of products that people want that are competitive at their price points, the i9-9900K's retail packaging has been spotted. And it just kind of looks like Intel's trying to be like AMD with their Threadripper boxes, but not understanding what makes the Threadripper boxes so cool. So you get this dodecahedron maybe? How many sizes does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Decahedron? 12-sided. Oh no, it's a dodecahedron, says the article. There we go. It's a 12-sided 3D object. It's okay. It just looks like something you use in D&D. Your Dungeon Master could probably use one of those to help move this game forward. The launch price that was shown on Amazon was $582, which is a bit more than what we've been seeing or hearing in the rumor mill. The expectation is that it'll be more around $450, which isn't bad, but again, this kind of brings me to the topic that I discussed when it was first kind of rumored that Intel would be doing this with bringing the i9 naming scheme to the actual consumer desktop platform. People are going to buy this because of the marketing and the branding. It looks like a Threadripper box in the fact that it's a completely different packaging. It has the i9 name, but it has the i7 pricing and it has the i7 performance. if we go based on the fact that the 9700K is not going to have hyper-threading, then the 9900K does have hyper-threading, therefore that is the i7, and the i7 is actually the i5. This is a whole marketing turnaround for Intel, trying to sell things based off of the fact that people think it's cooler, not necessarily the fact that it is better, even though this is going to be a really good chip, probably going to be the best gaming chip on the market. It's going to beat the 8700K. However, the fact that they're trying to market this as an i9 tells me all I need to know about the fact that Intel is lagging behind and they have to make up for it with schemes like this rather than actual performance differences, because they're not going to get much more out of Coffee Lake refresh. We could expect maybe another 5%. Overclocking might be slightly better at the high range, but holy crap, you get a pretty box which you can sit back there behind a glowing LED thing and make it look really pretty, which is probably what we're going to do. So I'm looking forward to that. Now it's time for NVIDIA news. We've got introduced NVLink bridges with RGB. It looks like EVGA, Asus, and Gigabyte launched ones. They're RGB. Great. Then we have the Quadros that NVIDIA officially announced before the new RTX cards about the Quadro RTX, which have ray tracing and tensor cores. They are now up for pre-order, where you can get the full TU102 chip for $6,300, which is not much more than what we were expecting, and the RTX 5000 will be priced at $2,300. I think these make a lot of sense. When people ask me, well, what about the developers using ray tracing for or what about filmmakers using ray tracing? Yes, and that's what these Quadro cards are for. No professional developer should be buying the RTX 20 series, they should be buying the Quadros, and these make a whole heck of a lot of sense. Having the RT cores and the tensor cores here, perfect. Having them on the RTX 20 series and having to pay a gigantic price premium, that's my opinion and thoughts on the matter. What do you guys think? And then finally, we have official support for Turing GPUs to use NVFlash so that you could put new BIOSes on your cards. That could be great, or it could just be as bad as it was on Pascal, where the drivers are virtually signed, so you can't actually change the drivers. You can only flash on certified drivers, which means that we might not actually see a whole lot of benefit out of this flashing utility like we do with AMD cards, where you can flash a Vega 64 BIOS onto a 56. It could just be that you flash a better 2080 Ti onto a 2080 Ti, and then it's slightly faster, not that you can actually unlock anything like you can with AMD cards. We'll have to see how this moves forward, but NVFlash is now officially supported on Turing, especially courtesy of the guys over at Tech Power Up. So well done there. Thank you guys so much. You can download it. Links in the description for that. Whew, that's gonna wrap up all the hot news that we have today. What do you think about Intel's packaging? What do you think about flashing Turing GPUs or any other things that we talked about today? Let me know down in the comments. Keen to hear what you have to say. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. That little thumbs up that's down there. It shows support for the channel. Also, video is brought to you by UFD Deals, our very own website, so check it out. Hosted on Squarespace, by the way, another sponsor of this channel. Shh, neither here nor there. Anyways, get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see your smiling faces again in the next video. Love you too. Oh man, I'm getting efficient at that ending.